So hello everyone and welcome back to another Artist Spotlight. I am again Joe Foy, and today I am joined by Sarah Gleason and Carl Bingle to talk about Northern Choral Society and the fact that you have a concert coming up again, which is awesome. So I wanted to start off by just kind of like having you kind of give an idea of what Northern Choral Society is, how it started, if you know. I know we talked a little bit before and you said that you were 2 when it started, so you might not know all the details, but just,
I know most of them.
just a general idea of what happened, where it came from.
Yeah.
Well, right now we are a group of almost 70 singers from all around the Jefferson-Lewis County area. We meet every week for 10 Sundays to prepare for our Advent concert the first weekend of December, so December 3rd and 4th this year. And we have ages range from, I don't know, probably 17 to 87, and we have various levels of musicianship represented as well. So we just try to get together and enjoy each other and enjoy singing and putting on a wonderful Advent concert for the community.
That's awesome. And when was the last concert that you had?
2019.
Yeah.
2019. So obviously the pandemic, which I always hate to mention over and over again, we've heard enough of it, but nothing during that time. So this is awesome. You're coming back at it, and it's going to be in December. How is this group of people? How have rehearsals been going?
They've been going great.
Yeah.
Very nice. They've been working very hard, and we've been making some really great music. It's exciting.
Are there fresh faces that you're seeing?
Yes, yeah, we've got new people, don't we?
We do.
And they're good singers, and they seem to be good readers too.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so you're directing, and then Carl, you're going to be the organist, right?
And my wife will be the pianist.
Awesome.
Jana Bingle.
Can you give kind of an idea of what happens in this concert? Because you have the organ, you have all the music. What does it look like when you come to see it?
So it'll be at Asbury United Methodist Church. This year we're having a brass quintet and some percussion. So we'll all be up in front wearing various robes that represent the churches from around the area. And we'll have some carols that the congregation and audience can sing with us. And then a children's choir as well, directed by Marietta Kiddo.
Awesome.
And we have the River Ringers that are led by Jenny Whiteneck.
Oh, awesome.
So we have a little bit of variety in there, and some great Christmas music.
So the River Ringers, that's going to be bells?
Handbells.
Yeah.
It's a really semi-pro handbell player. They're very, very good, and Jenny's a great conductor. So
Yeah, that's something different, because each
is.
person has like a couple notes, right?
Right.
And
some of them play 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
it's not quite like your boom whackers that you
No.
probably...
It's the same idea, though.
Similar concept, but doesn't sound the same.
Right.
So do you know a little bit about the history of Northern Choral Society? I was looking it up and I saw that it was formed in 1954.
54 by the minister Don Boyd. He was Reverend Don Boyd of Asbury Methodist Church.
Okay.
And it was a big inauguration of the pipe organ that had been rebuilt, and it was being rededicated. The same organ that we see there, which has since been rebuilt a couple times, but basically the same sound. And they decided to do one of the big oratorios that normally a church choir could not do on its own. So they invited all the church choirs from Watertown and anybody from the area to come in and sing, and that was the birth of Northern Choral in 1954. That was supposed to be a one-time thing, but it was so beloved that Don kept it going, and 55 really was another big thing. I think it was Elijah by Mendelssohn, and that's a major, major work, and they kept doing that. We did Holy Week concerts up until the early 90s, and then our director at that time, Peter Allen, started doing Messiah Sings in December. That became so popular that after a year or two, we started to perform the Messiah 2 nights in December every year. And that led to, well, let's do something but Messiah, besides Messiah. So it became concert after that. So by the end of the 90s, we were doing pretty much what we're still doing now. which is a variety of music.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's always been at Asbury then, the concert, but you rehearse here at First Press,
Right.
currently, and it's always been, it's one concert per year.
No,
You know, it's
we do two performances.
Okay.
In December,
Saturday,
Saturday and Sunday at 3.
December
3rd
3rd,
and
Sunday,
Sunday,
December
December
4th,
4th,
both
both
at
at
3
3.
o'clock.
Okay.
Which
afternoon.
is
That's
different.
new.
Yes,
That
we
they're
used to
both
do
at
an
3.
evening Saturday and afternoon Saturday.
Now they're
Sunday.
both 3 p.m. Yeah.
So 2 performances, but it's
One
the same,
concert
one
season.
concert
Oh,
season.
Yeah.
we prepare one concert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a lot of work in and of itself, for sure.
10 weeks worth.
Yep. And you know, I have been to one, and it's awesome. And you usually get a good audience for the event. Asbury is a really awesome location to do it. Do you have anything else to say kind of about the church or the venue or anything like that you wanted to throw in there?
It's tricky to park there, so there is shuttle buses that leave from here at First Pres and from City Hall, so people can park there, here or there, and get on a bus and ride in to Asbury.
People seem to find parking spaces though, because they do fill that sanctuary.
Yep.
The big round front part and also the rotunda, the back part, the
beautiful.
balconies and everything. So that's why we like the sound there. It's circular.
Yep. That's a really cool, cool place. And then you have, so there's yourself. I want to just go through everybody again, directors. But you mentioned Marietta Ketto as directing children's choir. And who'd you say again was doing the bell group?
Jenny Whitenack.
Jenny Whitenack. And is there anybody else that you'd like to mention that's also doing quite a bit of work for this?
We have a board of directors that, I mean, they do, it was, you know, a small feat to get it started to begin with this year, just because we had been out of it for 2 years. So they did great. I mean, technically we're not on the board anymore because their terms had run up, but they all decided to go for it anyway. So they were able to book all the venues and do all the things that needed to happen behind the scenes before we even started, and get the music organized for us. And
they all came back to work.
They all came back, so
you know, it's wonderful. It's a great deal of energy there.
Yep.
And spearheaded by David Elmer, who is really our what would you call him? Powerhouse.
He's like a
for
busy
Northern
bee.
Choral Society.
He does it all.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is going to premiere in December, so it'll be right at the beginning, but we'll try to get a couple things out since it's going to be so close. So we'll do a couple things before it. Maybe we'll premiere it a little bit earlier. But what I wanted to say was, obviously it's too late for anybody to participate at this point, but for next year, what does somebody need to do in order to be part of Northern Choral Society?
We have a website, northernchoralsociety.org. There's a form on there they can fill out, and that will put them on our email list. If they would rather not do email, there's also a mailing list. So they could actually call either Asbury or First Presbyterian Church right here in Watertown and give their number and name and address to the secretary, and we would get a hold of it and put them on our mailing list if they would prefer.
Awesome. And so they just need to know how to sing, and
we're a community chorus.
Yeah.
We want them to come if they like to sing. They really should be able to match pitches.
Yep.
And watch notes go up and down, but like I say, most of them are really good readers, and some are learning by rote, but they really pick it up quickly and they blend nicely. And
I think basically, right, if they had sung in high school,
or church choirs,
even if it was years and years ago, I think they find it's kind of like riding a bike. Things come back, and I try to, I'm a teacher, so I try to give, hints, tips, tricks to get people all on board and moving forward. So
yeah, she makes us breathe, which a lot of us don't do.
And to make them stretch too.
Yeah, we have to breathe and stretch and do all these things that retired people don't really have to do. But yeah, and then vocal production, she covers that, and all the fine points of this music, which is some of it not very easy music.
Yeah. So now, I guess that kind of segues into, I want to talk a little bit about you both specifically since you're here, a little bit of your background. Now, I know Sarah because I was one of her students at Copenhagen, and you've moved around a bit. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Yep, I was at Copenhagen for 10 years after graduating from Crane. And then I went to Watertown for 7.5 years, and now I'm at Belleville Henderson.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And this is your, how many years at Belleville?
This is I started in January, so I'm finishing a full year here, coming up at Belleville Henderson, so.
Awesome. And then Carl, so you've been the organist here, right, at First Press?
I've been here at First Press as organist since 1990.
1990.
Northern Choral, 1970.
That's when I was born.
1977. 77, I was 25, so figure it out. But that's when Northern Choral hired me.
Awesome.
And they haven't fired me yet. So.
And so you were the organist since 1970. What? 1977. You've been the organist for Northern Choral. Yeah. That is awesome.
Well, that's playing parts and playing concerts. Yeah. So I've learned a lot of music through the years.
Yep. And if you said it already, Sarah, how many years have you directed?
My first concert was 2010. We did Messiah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's great. So you're working with a lot of people who have some experience here. It should be a great show. Is there anything else that you'd like to say about it that I didn't quite mention, that I forgot to ask?
I guess that the program this year is the Voices of Christmas. So I tried to pick songs that represented the people and maybe places around the time when Jesus was born. So we also have a lot of different genres. We have
some contemporary
stuff all the
really
way,
classical.
right? Amy Grant all the way back to Britain and classical things. So hopefully there's something for everybody to enjoy and help them feel the Christmas spirit.
Yep, definitely think a couple of things that you throw in that they recognize 100%, right?
Definitely.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. So I appreciate you for Northern Choral Society being our Artist Spotlight for December, and I hope the concert is great. We'll be promoting it, and I just hope the best for it.
We do too.
Yeah, thank you for including us. This is great.
We've got great people ready to do the concert we will be ready to do the concert by then.
Awesome, and I hope it continues for many, many years.
I do too.
So, thank you.